how this new stream thing works.
Are you streaming on YouTube?
I don't know what I'm streaming on right now. I was going to use... Because there's that app that I was using, that Mobo Crush.
Oh, I just got a notification for YouTube, so...
So it must be must be using 2 then. Let's have a look at my Twitch. Oh, it is. It's streaming on Twitch too. Oh, it is. It's streaming on Twitch too.
Check the YouTube.
Oh, it is. It's streaming on Twitch too. Oh god. Oh, it is. It's streaming on Twitch too. There we go. So it is working.
It is working.
It is working. Oh, the first chat box has come up. Hey, folks.
But your thing is War Thunder.
Okay, so...
At least that's what it showed.
It says I'm playing War Thunder, but I'm not playing War Thunder. Okay, guys.
That's what I mean.
So I'm not actually playing anything right now. I'm trialing something out. So bear with me. I've made a boo-boo.
You have.
I need to change the colors because they can't. Background color.
Oh, it's like pink.
Yeah. Font settings, there we go.
Can you do that on the fly?
Yeah, I think I can. There we go.
Do you have comments or not?
Yeah, they're popping up.
They're coming up, yeah. There we go. That works. I need to just make it a little bigger though.
Screen.
I need to make this a little smaller. That works about there, I think. Am I wearing any pants? Why do you keep asking me if I'm wearing pants?
I'm not.
I know you're not. The stream is.
Oh no, weird. Not wearing pants. It's too damn hot in here.
Yeah, that looks better.
I don't know how to turn off the water on the thumbnail because it's using... Holy cow. There's a lot of people talking right now.
They're all excited to see you. Yeah, because when I clicked it showed a Sherman.
Yeah, I know. It shouldn't because it's
people complaining.
Because what's that?
What's with everyone complaining today? Jeez.
So everyone, we're doing a test stream today. I'm eating beef jerky because why not? Just come off course. Got to continue the routine of eating beef jerky, but we have 2 of my fellow gunners here with me today. Coming to have a little chatskis. We have V3 and Relogic. So, if you guys want to ask some questions, we're just trialing this for now. We would normally have my goodness, Sheldrake here also. Currently he's working. But this is more of a test stream. Because eventually we're going to do more podcasting with these gentlemen. I'm going to invite people on, have a chat with them, and see how it goes.
Also, we're on 2 different sites right now. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah, I've never used this before. So I just downloaded a new software called... I can't remember what it's called. Moxbox or something like that. But it's working pretty good. This beef jerky is amazing, by the way, boys.
What kind of beef jerky?
What?
Jack Link. Is it Jack Link's?
It's Jack Link's, baby.
Perfect.
But like what flavor?
It's original, babe.
Original.
I was gonna go for the teriyaki, but it's a little too rich for me. This beef jerky is amazing.
For me.
I love how people always ask that my flag is from a country. It's not a country flag.
It is from Kanukistan.
Okay, Gunners. Here we go. The first question, boys. Okay, Gunners. The US Marine Corps is going to replace their 120mm mortars with small drones. What do you say? Good question starter. There you go, boys.
That's not as fun.
I mean, drones technically don't give you any capability of firepower, so I don't know why Small drones,
I
like
don't know, drones, especially small drones, you're going to be very dependent on weather. Like drones are great, but
yeah,
so are mortars. The mortars are very dependent on weather.
A mortar you can deploy rain or shine.
True.
A drone you cannot.
Mortars, that thing about accuracy too. They're not accurate weapons.
You're not really supposed to. Well, I guess you want accuracy, obviously, but
You mean keep the casualties low, like the civilian casualties low?
I wouldn't really deploy. Cool, I wouldn't deploy a mortar in a civilian area anyway.
I am against them changing to drones, mainly because
I would also vote that.
Springtime, kick that troll, please.
Mainly for the main reason that mortars are fun.
Mortars are fun. I wish I had the capability to actually fire them because I'm not qualified. Be fun.
Like you don't get the same feeling from a drone you do of dropping rounds down the tube. Like,
I just don't understand why a drone would give you better capability than mortar, really.
Yeah, I don't
a drone's very limited.
I'm curious as to where that Jim 99 West asked the question, Jim, where did you get that information and what are the drones that they're looking at replacing them with?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of that, so I don't really know. I can't really comment on what the specs are of those drones and what their capabilities are. But
I personally think it's a bad idea. That's a dumb idea to do. To replace mortars with drones.
Another key moment thing there. Why are they trusting the United States Marine Corps with drones?
You're a savage. That's savage.
Let's be real. Let's be real. They break things. Let's not give them the expensive stuff.
I gotta fix something here. How do I...
Hi, am I wearing pants? Answer is no, because it's hot in here.
See, it's funny because I'm getting comments from... I think I'm unable to see certain comments, which is kind of strange.
So how does that work for comments that... How does that work for comments that pop up onto the screen since they're both?
Well, I get comments from. I can see comments from. I think obviously the two different outputs, right? So I get YouTube and Twitch.
It puts them all into one.
But it doesn't put them all into one on my main top chat because Airplane Man just said hello Matsimus, but I don't see that in my.
I see that.
Blue is YouTube and green is Twitch.
Okay, because I see the Hello Matsimus on your stream right now.
Yeah, I see it on the stream.
Oh, you just don't see it from where it originated?
Yeah, green must be Twitch. Let me have a look at my Twitch stream and see what it shows. Twitch, yeah. So, oh no, long lost. Yeah, so Airplane Man 1997 is on my Twitch stream. I don't know what's on my YouTube stream. I haven't seen that yet. Anyway. I'm watching Terminator and Matsimus right now. Interesting.
Back to the drone thing. I do have another point, though. It is kind of smart giving them drones.
Why?
You don't want them eating charge bags. They look too much like snacks, you know?
I don't agree with removing conventional firepower in any context. And I've got some better light here.
Nothing beats the amount of sustained firepower that a mortar and a gun can put down.
Someone asked, why is a gun talking? That's his avatar.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
See, I need to put little things that says this is V3 and this is Relogic. Have I seen Godzilla? Yes, I have seen Godzilla.
Once we figure out the flippin' picture thing, I don't know why it's not updating.
Matsimus, will the 5.56 be replaced in the future? That's a question for all three of us, I think. I would say no.
I'd say it'd have to be. That's just the way technology goes.
I think we're a long way away from that yet, personally.
I don't see a need for it.
Actually find something better.
People always say, "Oh, like the 7.62, you're gonna have a better range," but you're never really engaging a target that's far enough away that it really gives you that advantage.
A 7.62 better range?
Yeah.
7.62 have a lot better range.
That's a big, slow-moving bullet, though.
Yeah, it depends on what charge you're putting in there, though. What
Like an
that is true, but
AK-47 will have more effective range than an AR.
It's funny.
you can get a 5.56 going 3,000 feet per second or more.
I had this conversation with a couple of guys on course because they're Reg Force infantry, and we were discussing the benefits, pros and cons of ammunition, blah blah blah. And we were talking about how much we hated the C9, or not hated, but we had our concerns about the C9 LMG, and how like pretty much most of the exercise we were having stoppages every couple of minutes on the C9. Like it was
Were you
terrible.
using live or blank?
No, we were just on blank, which
Well, there's
isn't
your
exactly
problem right there.
Exactly, which isn't exactly the greatest ammunition to be plugging through the thing. But it did bring to mind, like, because I know the Brits are doing it, and I've already done a video on this, how they're removing the LMG and the LSW from service through the Brits. And, like, belt-fed 5.56 is going to be a thing of the past in the near future because it's just not prevalent on the battlefield anymore. This, like, massive amounts of firepower. They're, like, transitioning now to, like, precision long-range stuff, right? Like, the L129A1, like, I mean, where is it? And they're transitioning to these guys now. They've switched out the LMGs or the British C9s for this guy. So they're going to a 7.62 designated marksmanship rifle, which personally I think is a really smart move. Do I want to see the LMG get rid of? No. But I see their connection is, why put a box of 200 rounds downrange to make effective rounds hit on target? Maybe 7 of them? Whereas this thing, you're putting like accurate 7.62 down onto a target. So, I don't know, I see it from both ends of the spectrum, but I personally find that 5.56 belt-fed weapons are going to be a thing of the past in the near future for sure.
I see the way we are right now, we're not fighting conventional warfare. We're not fighting force on force using the same weapon, like similar weaponry, right?
True.
So for now, I don't really see much of a need for it.
Yeah,
well, like,
yeah.
In the future, we'd probably definitely need it because we'd definitely be back on to force and force.
Right.
Like a real war, I could see the need for massive amounts of rounds on range.
It depends. Like, it depends because the massive amount of rounds down range, like 5.56, you're not getting that effective mass amounts of rounds down range because it's spread so wide. Whereas with a 7.62, at least with the 7.62 belt-fed weapon, you know that you're getting like heavier suppression at longer ranges, like the GPMG or the C6.
Yeah, I'm all for like 7.62 belt feds. I love them.
Of course. That's a given.
But I also do see the need for the C9.
Someone sent me a message on the Discord about the recent mortar and drone thing. Okay, let me check this out because I'm curious. Drone thing. The Marines... Oh, here we go. The Marine Corps ditched the 120mm mortar, but this might replace it. In the Marine Times.
Keyword might.
Let's have a look here.
God, that would suck to pack around.
I don't know. I wonder how heavy it is. Marine
It's a
Times.
base plate on a 120. It's gotta be...
Well, isn't the 120 towed? I'm pretty sure it's towed. They're 120.
Drone 120mm. The Marine Corps ditches the 120mm mortar. The Corps has ditched the 120mm expeditionary fire support system, but now it needs a flexible and portable system that can match its range and lethality. Loitering munitions or suicide drones may offer the Corps more solution it's looking for, according to Marines' portability, range, and variety of payloads for either electronic attack or kinetic strikes. One Maryland-based company called Mistral Group could provide the Corps with a suite of suicidal drones varying in size and payload that melds with the expeditionary and sea-based nature. Mistral's series of loitering munitions could aid the Corps on the battlefield by providing in a top-down attack capability. The modern battlefield has become littered with a host of shoulder-fired and ground-based anti-tank systems, from the BGM-71 TOW to the Russian Kornet portable guided missile systems. It's all about ensuring the Corps maintains an unfair advantage on the battlefield. Mistral's Univision Hero 120 drone could be a suitable replacement for the Corps' 120mm mortar. The drone is man-portable, air-launched, and features a Javelin multi-purpose warhead, meaning a squad of Marines could dispatch the system to take out enemy troops or armored vehicles. The Hero 120 has a flight time of 1 hour and 40 kilometers worth of range, making it an attractive option to replace the cumbersome 120mm mortar system. Mistral also offers a much larger suicide drone that packs extended range for the Corps' deep attack needs. The Hero 400 EC could aid the Corps in sea or land-based missions. The Hero 400 EC boasts a 100-kilometer range, holy cow, with an additional 30 minutes of loiter time. It packs a 22-pound warhead and has the ability to carry a variety of payloads for lethal strikes or electronic attack. The Corps has increasingly interested in loitering munitions. So far, the Marines have successfully tested 6 suicide drones controlled as a swarm by a single operator, and they could eventually increase to 10 to 15 of them. In April, the Corps posted a request for information to industry leaders for a man-portable tube-launched loitering munition drone with a range of up to 40 to 60 kilometers. But one concern for the Corps has been fielding its future loitering munitions is the potential of reduced battlefield situational awareness if a drone operator is glued to his controller screen. Because of this, the Corps wants the systems to come to a minimal operational burden. Captain Matt Cornicho, FIRE's Project Officer, Marine Corps Warfighting Laboratory, said that during a media roundtable in July, Mistral's suite of loitering munitions do just that. An operator on the ground who has control of the munition doesn't actually need to pilot it. Mistral munitions could loiter overhead while ground operators need only to select and identify a target for it to destroy. This would allow Marines to stay focused on the battlefield and not on the drone. Mistral offers a smaller suicide drone called the Hero 30 that can take out troops and light-skinned vehicles. That is cool, man. That's cool. Very cool. So apparently, from what I'm getting from some people here, is the Twitch stream is low quality. Is that true, Twitch?
I don't know. I'm watching YouTube, so I can check, I guess.
Check Twitch. Twitch streamers.
Twitch.
I got one person watching the stream on Twitch right now.
You're about to have to.
It says we're HD. Shell's on HD on Twitch right now. It says there's only one person watching on Twitch, but I don't think that's true.
I'll check here.
Oh no, 9 people watching. There we go. Anyway, that's super weird. Like, that's an interesting premise for those drones.
No,
I've never heard of that before. So basically, you launch these things from like a Javelin launcher. It flies around for a few minutes, and then when eventually you want to pick a target, you just tell it to select and engage that target then?
I guess it seems like, I don't know, I don't think it'd be as good as mortars. Like mortars, you can have many rounds. Like this seems like how many drones are you going to be packing around?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's more of a, thanks for subscribing there. It seems like it's more of a, an addition to mortars, like a more specific use system.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's quite a replacement. Replacement seems a little much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I wonder how much one of those go for a pop.
They'll be expensive. They'll be so expensive.
So the problem I see with replacing drones with mortars is technology breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes a lot of work to really mess up a gun or a mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't break a metal tube.
The technology to like interfere with like drone controls are pretty commonplace.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I see wrong with that is, like you said, weather. Right, you can pretty much put mortars down in most weather conditions.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put a drone in the sky, it's going to get affected by weather pretty heavily.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell, even like you can get a mortar in places you couldn't launch a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a mortar at a fob is a fucking force multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, like, a drone, you might not be able to launch it.
Yeah, exactly. I
The
feel like
range, though,
drones
is
could be
pretty
hacked,
enticing.
though. Drones could be
Yeah.
hacked.
You can be hacked, and like police forces now even have like these little, like they look like rifles, but you point them at the drone and it interferes with the signal, and the drone just falls out of the sky.
Yeah. I mean,
Hell,
yeah.
they have dudes making net guns for drones in their backyard.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think there's more disadvantages to.
I would just be terrified of launching one of these things and like
But
whoever you're launching it at has the ability to hack it, and then all of a sudden you have a suicidal 120mm packed warhead flying around above you. Like, they know exactly where it got launched from. I wonder where it's coming next. You know.
They
yeah,
send it home.
Another thing with mortars and drones is a drone is a viable target, whereas a mortar round is very difficult to trace coming in. Right, like you can see a drone, like you could fairly easily see it. You can hear it fly. With a mortar, yeah, you'll hear it fly, but by the time you're hearing it fly, it's landing on your head.
Well, we do have things like LCMR too, right?
True, but that's super complex stuff, right?
yeah.
It's super complex, but any modern military will have an equivalent of that.
Oh, of course they will.
I don't know. In my,
Like
I
if we're
find,
fighting guys like jihadis, yeah, sure, that's viable.
Self-aware drones, yeah.
But the minute you're fighting force on force, it becomes who has the better technology, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel at this time that a mortar would be a more reliable piece of kit. Like it's something that's been around for a long time, and like that or the guns. Like you can beat the shit out of the guns, and they're still gonna work.
True.
For the most part.
Like the C3, like you could beat the shit out of that thing, and it's a pretty simple system.
Well,
Nothing
as long as you have
computerized.
CLP, it'll work.
As long as you got CLP, it'll work.
Because like we've had a breach seas open one time. That was not fun.
Yeah, no.
So
One thing I also think of for the Marines, their element's more amphibious, is it not?
Well, that's what they're trying to
yeah,
say
that's
is
good.
you could have these things launched prior to, like if you launched one on like your rib boat before landing on the beach, or like you launch one of these things from your ASLAV, right, or what the LAV, right, before you get into the operational area. Whereas a mortar has to be deployed on ground, right? It's got to have a base plate. It's got to be put in place. Whereas this thing could be like bounced off the top of a vehicle, like off a tube, launched out of the tube, and then as the vehicle's driving, the operator in the back of the vehicle can operate it, right? Whereas a mortar disadvantage is it requires laying in. It requires, it needs to be seated with a base plate into the soil. It needs like ammunition carried for it to keep it sustained. Whereas this drone is very specific, right? Like I said, you launch this thing and it can stay on station for however long, which is really cool. But I mean, I don't know if this drone comes with the capability of being able to see what it's shooting at, or you just place it into a grid reference and it just goes to there. But for a warhead that's like, how much does it say? 22 kilograms or something like that? It seems like it's pretty, it's pretty hefty, right?
Also, price point too.
Yeah, they'd be expensive.
Like, weren't they rolling into Iraq with like beaten up Humvees?
Yeah. But when you think about it, think of the price it costs to operate a mortar, right? You're going to have at least 2 to 3 troops, like 3 Marines operating the mortar, ammunition to fulfill it. The tube itself isn't much, but 3 troops using it instead of 1 troop guiding it. And for a specific fire mission, like if you wanted to knock out a compound building, fine well it's going to take more than the first round hit to get that round hit on target. Whereas this drone would be very specific, right? Like almost like a miniature Tomahawk cruise missile that would be very on the point spot. Whereas, mortars, 120mm mortar is like an area effect weapon. You'd be like trying to suppress a large area of, let's say, a minimum of 100 meters. Whereas this thing is like, okay, I have an insurgent in this cave, in this building, at this location, send in a drone, and it'll just, boom, done. Whereas the mortars are like, okay, I have a company level / squad level amount of troops, open ground, compound area, blah, blah, blah. I need to suppress them before I move in. Then I think that's why I'm saying I don't think the drone should replace the mortar. I think it should complement it, because removing of an old system like that seems like a bad idea.
Not to mention, the mortar's not just about firepower.
Agreed.
Think about it. We have illume rounds, we have smoke rounds.
Exactly. And that's where the drone's going to drop out, because it's not going to be able to provide that kind of suppression, right? Like smoke and illumination. It would be useless. And that's a good point, actually.
Good point.
Like, hell, you could fire 2 different rounds in the same mission if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, a drone, you can't swap that out. Like, you're not swapping that out in the time it takes when you need it.
I agree. I just think if that's the way they're going to go, they could replace a lot of stuff with drones, though. Like, think about it, though. Like, okay, so you're going to replace the 120mm mortar with a drone. Then why wouldn't you replace a number of things with a drone, right? Like, the M777. Think of how much resources and manpower going into setting up those guns. Why would you not just create an MLRS that launches 12 drones that could stay on station for multiple periods of time that are more specific landing onto targets and could be used as recce prior to being dropped in on a target? Do you know what I mean?
Give them any ideas.
I know, right?
True.
But like, that's the thing. The 777, you would need a crew of, like, what's a crew? Probably like 7 or 8 guys. Tons of time to set it up. Tons of ammunition needed. Yes, it's very effective, but like, again, 4 or 5 MLRS gun wagons. Those boxes have 12 tubes. 12 of those tubes could contain various sizes and depictions of drones. You launch these things out. They can go, what does it say, 40 kilometers? So that's the range of an MLRS anyway. It flies around for 10.
100 kilometers?
Well, the one that they said, I think, was 40 Ks. Just double check here. Yeah, 40 kilometers. The Hero 120 has a flight time of 1 hour and a 40 kilometer range. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Oh, no, and the Hero 400 EC boasts a 100 kilometer range with additional 30 minutes of loiter time with a 22-pound warhead. So, again, like, you could launch 100 of these things ahead of the battle group 100 kilometers away, keep them flying around for 30 minutes before you want to engage, and then when the battle group comes on station, just press the button and 30 drones just start smashing into the ground. That's pretty impressive.
At that point, why not just use a Predator drone?
Well, yeah, that's the same thing, I guess. But they're probably cheaper than Predator drones, though, because Predator drones like require flight back and forth, right? They need to land, and they got like complex avionics. These things are like one-time use. Like, you fucking launch them out. They don't need landing gear. They don't need a complex avionics to land again. They need a specific grid location, like a 16-figure grid. I don't know, whatever figure grid they need to land on a position. You input it, and it finds that GPS grid, and it just launches there.
Yeah, that's fair.
One thing I gotta say, though, is think about where you'd use a mortar.
In the mountains and shit.
Usually you'd want one at a fob for sure. Like, your engagement distance for a mortar, where it's key that you have it, is in the 1 to 3 kilometer range.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, that's where you want fast fire support. You don't want to have to wait for a drone to get airborne, find its target, and then launch. Usually when you're using a drone, people are already under fire. You're already under fire.
Yeah. But I think that's what I'm saying. Definitely don't replace. Like, I would definitely keep the 120, but this could be a really good addition to the 120.
I think it should be its own entity.
Its own thing, yeah.
Yeah, because think about the amount of training you have to do to retrain people on that system too.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be that much training. I think there'd be more training in using the mortar, just because they're laying in the mortar and the procedure and fire discipline. Whereas this thing would be, okay, you get a computer screen and you just launch this thing and you fly it to. You wouldn't probably even have to do that. You just type in a grid reference to it and it would just find it.
I guarantee, like it was saying, to keep people's situational awareness up. They wouldn't want you just staring at a computer screen flying this thing like a computer game. I bet you it would all be autonomous.
It'd be very simple. I'm going to do some research into it for sure.
But like, think about all the people who are already trained on the motor.
True.
Like, you'd have to spend more money to retrain them. Adding a new weapon system is like, it's expensive.
Yeah, I agree. But the only other risk I see to these drones is counter intuition, right? Like, okay, so someone's about to send 10 drones toward me. All I have to design is something that either jams these things before they get to me, or create a weapon system almost like the Sea Whiz. Thanks for following Joe Ho 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 Ho. Interesting name, by the way. You'd have to create a system similar to the Sea Whiz that's like, put it on the back of a vehicle that follows the battle group, engages these drones from distance, and you would have no chance. I mean, I don't see these drones being produced in a system that like makes them supersonic, so they'd be quite slow flying into their target. You could almost shoot them down with a bloody shotgun, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least for like us Canadians, just training a single troop is well over $10,000.
Yeah.
Troop. Now imagine training, say, I don't know how many gunners do they have there? Like,
what, in the
that's
Marines?
an extra cost. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's an extra cost that is overhead, right?
I agree. You could use drones to replace coin and light attack aircraft. That's an interesting. Does field artillery use canister rounds? Wouldn't that be used for direct fire and not something employed by the artillery? Jacob Buxton, we don't have canister rounds that we use in an indirect fire role.
Pretty sure that's a war crime for us.
Yeah, I think the Americans still have canister ammunition, but we use flechette. We don't really use it. We can use flechette, but flechette is flechette. But flechette rounds are very specific, and I don't think we really use them in our own technical conventional warfare right now.
I don't think it's compatible with modern artillery pieces anyway.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want a big old muzzle brake on the end of a gun firing flechettes.
See, I'm only seeing certain people's messages. Very strange. Jacob, long lost the Robin. I see long lost the Robin there.
With Sheldrake, he says in Australia, drones are used for target acquisition, which is artillery. Yeah, we use the same thing. We have
drones that we launch off the back of a truck.
Yeah, like the logistics for those are still huge.
Yeah, they're like
it's still a system that needs to be trained. Only a few select people have that training. It's not a course that's really offered to everyone. Generally, if you have,
I don't know.
If you have 3 stripes or about 3 chevrons or above, you're good.
U.S. Army loves canister ammo. Yeah, there's no real requirement for it though. Like for canister ammo, like grape shot ammo is you're using something that is really close. Like it's a last resort kind of ammunition. It's like a front claymore. Like it doesn't make a huge benefit, I think, in a combat situation to have canister rounds because you're almost turning your weapon system into a shotgun, right?
You are, pretty much.
Yeah. Joe Fro says Panzer Hubitz 2000 works fine in Afghanistan. I would agree. Long Lost the Robin says, Matt, I legitimately swear to heck I will join the US Navy engineers if you don't read Twitch again. Well, hello, Long Lost the Robin. I've put both streams chats beside one another now so I can read you all.
Here's a good topic. Towed versus self-propelled.
Self-propelled.
Goodness. I gotta be careful what I say. I would definitely say self-propelled because I have seen it and how well it works.
See, I'd say towed.
Yeah.
Or very towed.
I know, I'm always going to say self-propelled because I love my tracked / things that move very quickly.
See, for me, towed has the benefit of being able to manhandle it, should you have to.
Yeah, but I don't know. There should be self-propelled artillery that can be turned into towed if you wanted to. Like the gun could be removed. Like
that the Bofors that the Indian Army has.
Yeah. M1 tanks carry canister rounds. I've used them in the sandbox. Used it in the sandbox. We cannot talk about China, unfortunately. Depends on what you want to talk about China.
You gotta be very, very careful.
Yes. I'm so tired. I should really go to bed. It's late. And this is only really a test stream anyway. Yeah, folks, we're just doing a test stream right now. This isn't a full-fledged stream. We're just kind of checking out how we do this multi-stream chat. And sooner or later, we're going to be doing... What's that?
We're missing Sunray Miner.
And we're missing Sunray Miner, yeah. We need our good friend Sheldrake here too. We don't want to do the full thing without him, so... But we're probably doing another stream in the near future here. Not too sure when we're going to do one, but we will do one. It seems to be working fairly good, though. I'm kind of enjoying the layout and the way it goes. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll cut it off today, I think, folks, because it is getting late. And it looks like...
1 second, Jim. 1 second. I can't let that one slip.
What's that?
If you think Toad Artillery is slow, you haven't seen me drive.
That's funny. Fair one. Good to see you like riding off the gun from taking a corner too quick.
I mean, a certain regiment did flip a gun on a highway.
We're not going to talk about that right now.
But we're not going to talk about it or name names.
Nope.
It was a freak accident.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, gentlemen, say goodbye to the stream. We're going to close it down.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, I'll catch you around later. We'll do another stream in the near future, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you again later. Bye-bye.